Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. I have here Mike Silva, Director of Operations for FZA Digital. Mike, how are you doing today?
Doing well, just keeping myself busy. Trying not to get too hot out there in that Texas heat, but can't complain.
I feel like California is heating up as well, so I know your pain.
hmm
Today, we're here to talk about digital marketing. Wanted to provide a little bit of an overview of what digital marketing FZA Digital does, how does it work, and really who is it for? And can you give us a breakdown of each part of digital marketing? Let's start with SEO just to give them an idea.
SEO stands for search engine optimization. So what that means is you are optimizing your location on search engines like Google, Google being the most popular one. I want you to think about the search results page when you enter in a query. What shows is your search engine results page. Think of that SERP, as you might hear, as real estate. You want to do all that you can to show up as high up as you can. So again, location, location, location. Beat out the competitors, show up at the very top. The biggest differentiator between SEO and SEM is SEM is going to be your pay to play system. Uh, let's take a side here for a second to talk about SEM. You might hear SEM, search engine marketing, PPC, pay per click, or Google ads. These are all synonymous and they're all different ways that you essentially pay to play. The biggest difference there, as I mentioned, was a budget is going to be behind your PPC campaign. You'd need to set up a Google Ads account where you'd go in and create campaigns based on different keywords that you're bidding against your competitors for. Again, the goal here is still to show up at the very top of your search engine results page. These will actually go above those organic SEO results. Again, this is with that budget behind it, strong landing page on the website, and strong ad extensions to guide people to the right place that they need to go on your website.
Mike, that's a great explanation for pay per click for Google, but it's pretty common that people also bid on different platforms. Can you give us an example of one of those platforms and how they're similar and maybe how they're different?
Absolutely. So, one of those other bidding services would be Facebook. Social media ads are another great way to pay to play, to capture your consumers' attention. These are similar in the sense that with Facebook ads, you have a budget. You're paying to play, you're competing for real estate on Facebook's different placements, whether that's the news feed, Instagram, stories. You're paying to show up first. Now, the way that this differs from search engine is an intent. Now, with Google, customers are directly asking Google the question. Your website can potentially answer that. When it comes to a Facebook ad, this is where you're more putting in your targeting based on interests, hobbies, affinities. What does this user like on their Facebook page? What are some things that kind of go in with that? Facebook gives you a lot more with demographic targeting, I would say. And that one is a little bit more of website remarketing or ads showing up because you're looking at certain things on Marketplace. Google's is a little bit more of a direct response. With Facebook, you might also notice that there is a non ad component. There are two major ways to spread the word for your business on Facebook. That's going to be Facebook ads and then your organic. Organic social posting is all about customer engagement. This is going to be the ones that you post, you share videos, share reviews, really inform the customer of what your brand is all about. Organic social posts are all about growing your audience, growing your customer engagement. It's really meant at humanizing your brand and creating a digital word of mouth.
Mike, I think if someone could really understand those points, it'll get them at least to the starting line. A common question we receive is why would we want to do all of these things at once? If you have a really good SEO campaign, why might you need PPC?
At the end of the day, each of the services that we have reaches the same endpoint. The goal is to drive conversions and to drive sales, but each of the services get us there in a very different way. SEO is more of your long term play. Changes that you make on your website won't reflect in Google overnight. It takes a while for Google to index those a certain way. Because of their algorithm and a lot of things that they test out, it does take a while for that to pick up. But that's all right. Because it is a long term play, it will mature and get better over time. The other thing I also want to point out with this is typically in this part of your marketing mix, SEO is tying to that awareness phase. It's looking at the top part of the funnel where the customer is still in that information gathering, research, top of the funnel situation. They have a problem. They're not necessarily aware of who can solve that just yet. Now, because SEO isn't pay to play, it does have more bang for its buck, but it does take a while to mature. Think about a snowball. Once you get it over the first part of the hill, you got a little snowball here. By the time you get to the bottom, it's a boulder. It'll do a lot of the heavy lifting for you over time as your SEO grows and your website is more easily readable and accessible to Google. PPC is going to be more of your immediate injection of leads, right? While it can improve over time with the more data that you gather, this is going to be more of an immediate impact. The moment you put in your budget, you'll start bidding, start ranking, start showing up for results. Now, because it is pay to play, you kind of do have diminishing returns at the very top, right? You can kind of max out what you can get for your budget. You can always expand that. And the good thing is, because there are different parts of the buying funnel, you can allocate budgets to different parts of your needs based on where your customers fit into that. Facebook ads, like Google ads, are pay to play, and you can really only go as far as your budget allows. However, it is more of a cost effective alternative to a Google ad. Where they differ the most, Google is going to be more of your search intent, whereas Facebook is looking more at hyper targeting, interests, hobbies, affinities. It's looking at the mind of your consumer and the things that they like to be surrounded by and making sure that your brand is showing up in all of those places.
So if you're piecing all this together and you're thinking as a customer, I get all this foundation stuff. There's still one last question that I want to touch on, which is how do you know which one works the best for you and what you need in your current moment in market?
Any good digital marketing company will sit down and offer a consultation to go through your business's needs and biggest pain points. It's not a one size fits all approach. It's really important to understand what your most pressing objectives and goals are. And we do that with FZAD. We will sit down and get a better understanding of where your business is today and where you want to take your business in the future. Do you need one service? Maybe you have SEO and you want to add PPC, or maybe you need an entirely new marketing strategy built from the ground up. We also offer different packages for differing levels of business needs.
I think being able to talk to a person who will understand you and your business is what's going to make a difference for a lot of customers. If they were interested, where could they go to check that out and get in touch with us?
The best place to go is going to be fzadigital.com. Our website will have information on all of our products, where you can connect with us via telephone, social media. That's going to be your go to for all things FCA Digital.
Awesome. And again, thank you so much for stopping by. Always a pleasure to talk to you, my friend. We'll catch you real soon.
Absolutely. Thank you, Dan.